and welcome to the Kopala TV main news. And now for today's headlines. JCTR educates community on national budget. Lufanyama youths urge government to help bring an end to the illegal buying of maize fields. And in international news, Brazil maintains drug advice despite WHO warning. Join us in a bit after this. To present the news in detail, my name is Wabwila Musongole. A non-governmental organization, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has joined forces with various stakeholders and communities to educate children and members of the community on the process of the national budget. Details are in the following report.
The country has faced a number of economic challenges in the past few years. The reduction in the demand for copper, coupled with other domestic challenges and the coming of the COVID-19, has affected Zambia's economy greatly. That is why the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has joined forces with various stakeholders and communities to educate children and members of the community on the budget process. JCTR has, however, noticed with great concern that half of Zambia's population is vulnerable due to various economic challenges.
In the budget process, it helps us to improve transparency in the community or in the country. When we have the budget, then we are going to see what has been, what the budget contains, and we can take part in the process, right? If there's no budget, then there's no guidance, then there's no transparency. It is also important for accountability for us, because we know when we have a budget, then we can hold leaders accountable.
Meanwhile, children pointed out the importance of the national budget and why it is key to include children in the budget process.
Adults make decisions. Those decisions that they make do not only affect them. At the end of the day, it's us, the upcoming future, that are affected by the decisions they make. So once they incorporate us in those decisions, we are helped in so many ways, because we are not future leaders of tomorrow. We are leaders today, and the leadership starts now.
Us as learners, we are also representing the other needs of the children. They cannot express themselves by being here, but we have the opportunity to come here and express our feelings. So the way we're expressing, we're also maybe fulfilling the wishes of other children. So I think it's very good for us children to come here and express our feelings to the whole government, so that they can look upon our needs.
We learn more things just us being teach about the establishment of the budget. So if we are like other children don't know how the establishment of budget, what it means or what a budget means, at least us we have an opportunity of learning what it is.
The presentation and the preparation of the national budget is provided for under Article 117 of the Constitution of Zambia.
Kitwe residents have welcomed the reopening of schools for examination classes set to be implemented next week. The residents are in full support of the move, saying children would be idle otherwise. Details are in the following report. In recent times, many industries have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic. The disease has seen a myriad of countries come to a standstill, most especially where public gatherings are concerned. In Zambia, schools have been closed since the 20th of March 2020, following the directive given by the Minister of Health, Chitalu Chilufya. Students in all learning institutions, elementary and advanced alike, have been home since that order was implemented a little over 2 months ago. However, President Edgar Lungu announced the reopening of schools as of the 1st of June for all pupils in examination classes. This announcement was made during the presidential address on the 8th of May, along with the reopening of casinos, gyms, and cinemas. The president said that all reopened institutions should adhere to public health guidelines in order to ensure a safe environment for all. Kitwe residents have welcomed the reopening of schools, saying that it is a good move as education is important.
Wakasukuru vesu refe kozi nshitaire airepwa ngata vesu le nshexama kale mbalisa kozi tete matu refe ati from grade 7 vai mu grade 8 nangu bafude bale mbe exam sichire fa kafe kuba kuleva screener tumani sanitizer pa door pakuingira basamba kumene basikirina kwasikirina nafuti fere kula pimari yonse babwekera baya nafuti babwekere chirifo ikafi kanga tabapimita tabaisure skulu ishibare kokola
cyo turera ko fina kulira manje maskuru ve turefo afi manje abana ba maskuru besure fi
Others feel that a prolonged absence from school has the potential to disrupt the children's general development.
Emana chimwana na mwana tirife bwino ichikala mbafe chirefo ekwa ba government baruishe bajite provide different for ekwa different from maski na social distance mu class edifilia kuba bika mu shift limbiri kuti yabo mbambare soruchero bafuma 12 ngabali abengi mu class bambi baingira 12 bafuma 14 filafine kulingana nempendo bali mu class na hivyo afya bakwete kuti bata provide bantu limba government kuti bafira ukumanisha
kufe kubana amaskulu ife ba government balangira ati amaschools abana besule aho kusitwa kabira bayisula abana amaschools pantu abana balaona ikamu mishumu baleikala life tufikire pona ishufa bintu fyonse na of course bafuire bakoselesha fefe yakuyisunga kuma schools emkwai na social distance bakwati at least ma classes baleikala kona ngubanga impendo ya chepa bana babwekera kuma school.
The Ministry of General Education has restricted parents from accessing school grounds once schools are open and operating. Wabula Musongole, Kopala TV, in Kitwe. The PF youths of Lufanyama district have urged the government to find a lasting solution concerning the issue of Congolese nationals buying maize fields from the people of Lufanyama. PF Lufanyama District Youth Chairman Levi Masukwe told Kopala TV News that the Congolese are buying entire maize fields at the cost of 6,000 kwacha from farmers. The Lufanyama youth are therefore calling on chiefs and the government of Zambia to come together and resolve this serious matter. Meanwhile, PF Lufanyama District Vice Youth Secretary Xavier Kapengwe has thanked the government for releasing funds meant for the grading of 158 kilometers of roads in the district.
Ifwe ba Lufanyama ichakutangira ichakutampirapo tuletotera ubuteko bwa PF government bakutupera fertilizer batubikira pona amataba fyadishire mu stay weme twalipogerere nombe chalenga tufwe misepela bakulufanya matufulwe twaikatana bonze fwe misepela twafitwa pa kuti twaisangusango kwe bati bakasai bale isangu kusteba la lionse abula fedi 7000 nangu 6000 ashtebala no sombola abene dimba mwinsho bashave lionse bala oro then nishibala litinsale yikulu muchalo aba kasaiba isa bale kungulama bala so fwe misepela tulefo ayo kwe bati twaikatano kwe bati ngatwamusangale cheba na murufanya media mataba kumwikata no mwine wa cheba na kumwikata nakasaiba sangu nkusta ibana na ina kumwikata bagwe bati ubuteko buponene mu muri program ya kwa bala letensala mu charo ikuru so fwe misepela like ba youth band bonse baima twaima apakosere makosa kubika mbone mfumu twafuirishe kusana pali chintu chapona murufanya ukubaleke ukushitisha mabala.
Kitwe City Town Clerk Seke Mbulo yesterday held a meeting with several Kitwe bus operators in the council chambers over the impending relocation of the latter from Kavengele. According to the statement made available to the press, the operators expressed reluctance to go back to Oxford bus station because of congestion. The operators proposed several sites where they felt the council could shift them to, including Starlight, Zip Zip and the railways area. However, the town clerk, who was flanked by the Director of Housing and Social Services, Mr. Anthony Mwenya, explained that the suggested sites were in private hands. It was agreed that the bus operators relocate to Oxford bus station while the council engages Zambia Railways for a short-term agreement to free part of the railway's land to expand Oxford station. In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. Join us in a bit after our commercial break.
kuna ni butuku bobuncha bobutira mwali fasi wa coronavirus 2019 bobu hasanela mali na hazengata zali fasi sinalubia disupo nilipona hazo zezibahala linga chwaro kodola divelenge kufelero kimoya nikufipelwa hapo hulile butisaka tavi nikusasebeza kwa lipio fokumwe mane ukona kutisa lifu hayo bakusala fiwe mutukaufela umwakozi yakuyambula kutukubo virus ye iyambukela katu loteli twamoya totuzwa kwa kuhotola kapa kuitimula kwa mukuli wa butukubo mukana kuyambula butukubo haya bamusutelera mutu yakola butukubo kapa liforoforo nizezwa pali foroforo kupotela libaka ezena ni butukubo kutisakozi yakubuyambula kuli muserereze ni kusererezana bavamwe kutabe kwa mazoho kamulola mezi yakenele kamita kapa kuitusisa miliani yakutola kwa mazoho mwapehe kubulisa licho zanama ni mayande haye bamuna ni virus ye musiga muhasanya butuku kakubona kuli mwakwahela kwa mulomo ni kwango ka ngokorwa yeputirwe kapatishu amuhotola kapa kuitimula ni mutape kwa mazoho isaliwa na 4 haiva mukayeleza kuli mina warubasalwa mina kapa mutufi kapa ufi una ni coronavirus 29 mubateka la 4 isaliwa na 4 kwa sipatela tesile kupa ufi ni mina titabaze mulifizisizwe kibali korora makete ni bazidi IPHI katuso yababa sebedisana ni bona.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back, and now for political news. All People's Congress APC party leader Nelson Musoni has said indisciplined leaders cannot serve under a pragmatic and disciplinarian president. Mr. Musoni has said it is therefore not entirely surprising to hear that some serving ministers in the government might opt out of politics should the leadership change hands after the 2021 general elections. Mr. Musoni told Kopala TV News that any good leader who is resolved to genuinely serve the people makes no preferential leadership exceptions but continues to serve the public with due diligence.
In essence, if you are a minister and you insist that you can only serve under a particular president, in essence, you are confirming. In essence, you are saying that you are happy to serve in an administration that is indisciplined. In essence, you are also indicting the principal himself that he tolerates indiscipline. So surely, when we come to political leadership, when we come into politics, we don't come with our friends. So how can you yoke and hinge your political ambition on the ambition of somebody else? It can only be that there is something that you have found useful that is working for you. Because then it's not about the people. If you are there to serve the people, you should be ready to serve under any president. But because of your inimical activities, you prefer to serve in a government that is indisciplined, a government in which lawlessness is the order of the day. That is the only motivation. How else can you put it? So we think that this government is rife with indiscipline and lawlessness and corruption. Thank you.
The Opposition United Party for National Development UPND National Vice Chairperson Subeta Mutelo is saddened by the reports coming in from several Zambian employees across the country. In an interview with Kopala TV News, Mrs. Mutelo said the crimes witnessed both in government and the private sector are an indication that the Ministry of Labour is not paying attention to what the Zambian employees are trying to communicate.
Yeah, that the Ministry of Labour does not pay attention, or there is no system at the Ministry of Labour. And the Minister of Labour does not pay attention on the Zambian employees, the Zambian citizens that are working both for foreign investors, for Zambian investors, as well as the government itself. Because for so long now, we've had protests around by the what do you call them? The civil servants, the city council workers, the National Housing Initiative workers. They've been on strike. They've been protesting. Okay, so if the ministry cannot even pay attention on government institutions, government employees, and how their systems are running, their payrolls and all that, how will they even manage then to look after the Zambian people that are working for these foreign investors? It's almost impossible, because if the government cannot manage to look after the people that are working in parastatals, which are run by the government themselves, how are they going to manage to look after the people? So concerning what happened in Makeni, in Lusaka, we cannot say, because I can tell you that I'm not sure how the investigations have gone, or it's just insinuations that the crime was committed by the Zambian people. Okay? And if it so happened was committed by the Zambian people, it simply sends a message that our people that are working in these foreign investment companies are not being taken care of, you know. One can only go to that extent when they are pushed against the wall. They are pushed so far. They've had it. They've had enough. And so they think the only thing they can do is either steal from this investor or do the crimes that they are committing, if at all those crimes were committed by the Zambians. Look at Tambeshi CCS. We've got people, I've got an uncle who's been working, who was locked up there 3 weeks now. I have a friend who's been working locked up there 3 weeks now. What is the government doing about it? You know? All of these investors must do is teach the Zambian employees, the ones that they're employing in their companies, teach them on the safety measures, the new normal that the government has put up, that they must follow even as they go back to work. Instead of keeping them the way they are keeping them, they can actually even keep them in shifts. Okay? So if one can work from the mines in 3 days, the other ones are outside. That one who has worked for 3 days must go back home, and the other 3 days, another one gets into the shift. You know, that is much better, because these people have got families. They need to take care of their children back home. They need to ensure that their wives have got food on the table. How is the food being provided to their families that have remained home?
You are still watching the Kopala TV main news. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Kuna nubutuku bobuncha bobutira malifasi wa coronavirus 2019 bobu hasanela malina hazengata zalifasi sinarubia tisupo nilipona hazo zezibahala linga chwaro $1 livelenge kuferero kimoya nikufipelwa hapo hulile kutisaka tavi nikusasebeza kwa lipio fokumwe mane ukona kutisalifu haiba kusala fiwe mutukao fela umakozi yakuyambula kutukubo virus ye iyambukela katu loteli twamoya totuzwa kwa kotola kapa kuitimula kwa mukuli wa butukubo mukana kuyamula butukubo hayaba musutera mutu yakola butukubo kapali foroforo nizezwa pali foroforo kupotera libaka ezena ni butukubo tisakozi yakubuyambula kuli muserereze ni kusererezana babamwe kutabe kwa mazoho kamulola mezi yakenele kamita kapa kuitusisa miliani yakutola kwa mazoho mwapehe kubulisa licho zanama nima yande haye bamuna ni bailashiye musiga muhasanya butuku kakubona kuli mwakwahela kwa mulomo ni kwango ka ngokorwa yeputirwe kapatishu amuhotola kapa kuitimula ni mutape kwa mazoho isaliwa na 4 haiba mukayeleza kuli mina warubasa lwa mina kapa mutufi kapa ufi una ni coronavirus 29 mubateka la 4 isaliwa na 4 kasipatela tesile kupa ufi ni mina titabaze mulifisizwe kibali kolola makete ni bazedi IPHI katuso yababa sebelisa na nibona.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back. In foreign news, Brazil has said it will not change its recommendation to use the anti-malaria drug to fight the coronavirus, even though the World Health Organization has suspended the trial of hydroxychloroquine because of safety concerns. Brazil has the second highest number of coronavirus infections with over 370,000 cases and the sixth highest number of deaths in the world, currently at 23,473, a record given by Johns Hopkins University. We monitored BBC for this report.
That's right. They talk about the fact that this article from Lancet references a database rather than a clinical trial. That's what the message is from here at in the health ministry, and that is not sufficient methodology for it to be used as a reference in Brazil. So they are staying firm, saying that they will leave it up to the doctors, but also give that right to the patients that from very early on they can sign a disclaimer, they can choose to take the drug. But you've got to remember there's also a bit of history with the Lancet. It was just earlier this month that the Lancet said that the biggest danger to Brazil was Jair Bolsonaro himself, and it's taken he's gone through 2 health ministers over his attitude towards dealing with the pandemic and of course the anti-malarial drugs. The first health minister departed because he didn't believe he didn't agree with that Jair Bolsonaro didn't agree with him on the importance of social distancing. The second one lasted less than a month, because he didn't believe in, he didn't agree again with the president over the use of chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. So now, finally, Jair Bolsonaro does have a bit more of a free rein in the health ministry, but at a time when, of course, there are more and more doubts cast on the use of the anti-malarials.
Katie, as you say, I mean, he's continued to downplay this whole crisis right from the very beginning, but the numbers say something very different.
Absolutely. We're talking more than 22,000 deaths, 370,000 plus cases of confirmed coronavirus. And those numbers at the moment don't show any signs of slowing down. But more importantly, as the testing is so limited here, that the real figures are thought to be much, much higher than that. But of course, the moment the president is standing firm, he wants to prove, or he wants to show that the way he's leading this country through it is the right way. But of course, a lot of people here are very concerned about the situation with the numbers just keep spiraling out of control at the moment. It doesn't seem there's any kind of unified way forward. Certainly the response here has been totally chaotic in trying to deal with trying to curb the spread of the virus here.
The city of Baltimore is deploying a controversial method of surveillance that was developed for use in Iraq. Camera-equipped planes will take to the skies to help fight crime. Its success or failure there could have significant consequences for the rest of the country. Al Jazeera has the rest of the story.
When many people think of the U.S. city of Baltimore, they picture this: block after block of rundown homes, litter, graffiti, crime. This is the city with the second highest murder rate in the country. Just last year, 348 people were murdered on these streets.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Community activist Joyce Jones is talking to a local radio station to sell people on what she sees as a possible solution. One that takes a very different view of Baltimore from above. 3 planes flying 12 hours a day over most of the city, filled with cameras, tracing everyone's movements. The picture's stored for 45 days, and if there's a violent crime, police can go back and retrace the steps of everyone nearby.
People are afraid to speak out. The community with support program will alleviate those witnesses that are afraid to speak because the cameras speak for themselves.
Activist Davon Love disagrees.
We've seen recently, the past few years, like the gun trace task force, where police officers were robbing people, selling drugs, planting drugs, etc. That level of power that comes with that level of surveillance is just not something that will positively impact public safety.
There's a war on the black man.
The Baltimore police do have a troubled history.
Black lives matters because you're killing black people.
The suspicious death of Freddie Gray in police custody sparked widespread riots in the city in 2015. Not long after, the police started the aerial surveillance program in secret. When it was discovered, activists sued to stop it, but a judge recently ordered the flights could resume. They are appealing the decision. Still, the Baltimore Police Commissioner believes it will be held up in the courts. The city already uses cameras on street corners and microphones to pick up the sound of gunshots.
There is no expectation of privacy in public, on a public street, on a sidewalk. And so it can't film inside of private places or beyond walls.
The cost of the program will be more than $3.5 million over 6 months. It is being paid for by a Texas billionaire. And if it's deemed a success, it's likely it could spread to other U.S. cities. A program designed to protect American soldiers at war overseas turned in on its citizens at home. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera.
Finally, in foreign news, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that Russia's nationwide lockdown was being eased from the 12th of May and that businesses could go back to work to stop employment from rising further. He also said it was up to individual regions to decide the best policy. However, Russia's daily infection rate remains high compared with the rest of Europe. The BBC once again.
Well, so far in Russia, there have been more than 360,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. That makes Russia the third most affected country after America and Brazil. But the daily increase in infections, the number of new COVID cases, that does appear to be slowing. And certainly the message from the Kremlin is the situation here is stabilizing. And to prove that point, this week, President Putin went back to work in the Kremlin. Today he said that the virus had passed its peak in Russia. He also announced that the Victory Day parade, postponed earlier this month because of the pandemic, will take place next month on June the 24th. Now, although the number of coronavirus cases here is quite high, the mortality rate is low. According to official statistics, fewer than 4,000 people in Russia have died from the virus. And in fact, the Russian government paper today spoke about the Russian miracle and said that Russia had passed the coronavirus test better than other countries. But there is some skepticism about the figures, and there are reports that not all COVID-related deaths in Russia have been included in the official statistics.
That's our Moscow correspondent Steve Rosenberg reporting there. Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Melita Vujinovich, the World Health Organization's representative to Russia. I raised the issue of counting COVID-related deaths, with Russian officials saying there are no deaths at home.
WHO is not here to control or to check, but what I do know after 3 years in Russia is that very few people from any disease die at home. It is a national issue to bring the people to hospital, to try to give as much possible care as it is, and there is a very strict regime of autopsies.
Do you believe these numbers?
We have no reason to check anything differently or to say anything
What sort of
differently.
access then? What sort of access do you have? I mean, how can you verify if you have no reason to believe differently? How can you verify these numbers?
Well, the World Health Organization is not controlling any country. We are not controlling the UK. We are not controlling Slovakia, which has a similar number of deaths. We are not controlling Russia. We have access to databases when they are shared with us. We have possibilities to ask questions when that is needed, not me personally, but of course the technical departments which are discussing with Russia.
I suppose the skepticism, you've spoken there about the United States, about Britain, about the numbers in these countries. The United States is reaching a milestone of 100,000. Here in the UK, we're well over 30,000. Russia is the third most affected country. It accepts that it has almost 400,000 people who have been affected by coronavirus. Yet when you compare that to the death toll, the death rate, it doesn't seem to match up.
It is a very good question, and it has to be analyzed, I think, for scientific purposes. It will be very important. If we know that Russia has tripled its tests in a month to 9 million, and that 40% of cases are asymptomatic or mild cases, that only 15% of those who are sick are above 65 years of age because the cocooning of elderly started early. These might be some of the elements that can explain it, but definitely, of course, I do believe that the scientists will look into it.
I mean, I suppose you say that you have no reason to question these numbers and the official numbers being given to you, but Russia doesn't have a very good track record when it comes to transparency.
Well, according to WHO and collaboration with WHO, we have seen very good collaboration with regard to strengthening the health information system over the last years, sharing data, looking into mortality. There have been major technical exchanges going on. So based on this track record that we have seen in collaboration with the Russian Federation, as I said, the WHO has not been mandated to raise such concerns, nor does it change anything because the figures are officially reported.
That item wraps up the Kopala TV main news for today, but before we go, we recap on headlining stories. JCTR educates community on national budget. Lufanyama youths urge government to help bring to an end the illegal buying of maize fields. And in international news, Brazil maintains drug advice despite WHO warning. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. Make sure to catch the main news every day at 18:30 with reruns at 21 hours, 7 a.m. and 12 in the afternoon. You can also find our content on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page at Kopala TV. From all of us here at Kopala TV, my name is Wawila Musongole and pleasant viewing.